Hi YouTube, this is Helga from the Inner Woods. I want to try and make this a short one about depression. As a neurodivergent individual, I have suffered from depression, the ideation kind, for a very long time. Um, I'd say it was probably nearly 2 decades long before I finally could say that this is no longer something that is true for me. And there were various stages to this. There was also various things that I undertook as I tried to treat it. Um, but I am not going to be talking about all of those things now. I wanted to share the kind of thought that I had about the real essence and root of this depression that I went through, and share like the um, essentially the thing that eventually really kind of that it kind of essentially boiled down to. So the thing that is at the core of the depression that I went through was a total indifference to life and the process of living my own life, which was um, there at behind everything else that obviously I was still trying to do. I was still living and I was still trying to do things. However, there was very little energy and there was quite a lot of suffering, and there was this thing behind everything else, which is very characteristic of depression in general, where there was just this disconnection, this disinterest, this deep sadness in regards to living. And as I went along and I tried to build my life anyway, over the years, I would stumble upon these things about like how, when I wanted to, for example, choose something to do or find a hobby or whatever. There would be these instructions coming at me like, what do you really want to do with your life? Like, just sit down and think about it. And when there is this depression at the core of your experience, every time that question would bring back, there I cannot connect to this place where there is something that I really do want to do, that I really care about in terms of myself or anything outside of myself. So, and that basically is the depression, right? This disconnection that you cannot really get uh, around or over in any way. So now that I am out of this depression, and now that I am able to find those things inside myself, those places which actually want things, care about life, care about living. It's a process, of course. It's after so many years in a depressive state, I'd say it takes quite a while to develop these little steps inside and grow them and get used to the process of wanting things and then living life into them from your desires, living life. The thing that separates the depressive state from this new state is actually safety. So I find that now that I am able to connect to my real desires, the reason that I am finally able to do so is because I am safe enough to do so. And that really is just the very boiled down single thing that separates these two states. Sure, there is a lot of other things to talk about and a lot of other processes that go on, and it's not an easy shift. However, that is really like just the core of it. So, for somebody going through depression, I would naturally suggest to look into ways of building safety with life. That's also not something particularly easy. However, it's something that is possible, and there is enough information out there, and I share information like this as well. So that's it for today. That's what I wanted to share right now. Um, just kind of like shorter thought. Thanks for listening, and I hope it helps.